Well, by now, we all know that the saga that led to Robinhood restricting trades, a saga that was fueled by anti-establishment rage. But as our next guest points out in his latest column for Bloomberg Opinion, three of the biggest names in finance and business are actually Reddit's heroes. Bloomberg Opinion columnist Chris Bryant joins me now from Berlin. Chris, it's great to have you on the show. You talk about three people in particular: Elon Musk, Cathie Wood, and Chamath Palihapitiya. Why are they resonating with Reddit traders?
Oh, hi. I mean, it's been an extraordinary week, hasn't it? And in my column today, I tried to take a step back and this has obviously been presented as a sort of battle between, the elites of Wall Street and a sort of amorphous mass of amateur traders. But as you say, there are these three people who have managed to straddle that divide really well. I mean, Elon Musk is obviously the best known example, who obviously through his sharp criticisms of short sellers managed to neutralize them. And, Tesla's stock was therefore then off to the races. Mr. Musk has been extremely flattering in his comments about the retail investors all along. Saying that often they have better insights than analysts. And when I listened to Chamath Palihapitiya, who's been launching so many SPACs recently, a lot of his public comments are very similar. He obviously very quick to associate himself with the GameStop movement, even going so far as to buy derivatives and signaling that he'd made that trade. And saying that, people who are in these forums often as smart as people on Wall Street. So very careful there to show which side of the aisle he's on.
Elon Musk is the wealthiest person in the entire world. Chamath has a net worth of over $1 billion. How did these guys get sort of put on the side of the little guys?
Well, it's an extremely difficult balancing act to pull off. And that was the part of the reason for writing the column. Is I'm sure in the wake of this week, a lot of important people on Wall Street will be asking themselves, how do I do this? And as you say, when you've got a net worth that large, it's not easy to do. But one thing all of them do is they try to be extremely transparent. All of them are present on social media. Cathie Wood, I think, is a very interesting example. I mean, she hasn't, to be clear, commented, as far as I know, on the GameStop issue. But what she has done is made sure that her analysts are out there on social media. They're sharing their research, often for free. ARK Investment, which is her stable of ETFs, which have been hugely popular over the past year. They publish information on their trades, so people trading, amateur traders at home can follow along. And all that has made them seem very accessible to the ordinary trader at home. And that's obviously very different from, the Wall Street banks and so forth.
I'm wondering about I guess legacy would probably be the wrong term to use, but does the opinion of the way that Redditors are feeling about these figures right now, Chamath, Palihapitiya, Cathie Wood, Elon Musk, does that change as you ask in your column when this tech mania subsides?
Well, I mean, obviously these three have ridden a wave, haven't they, of the cheap money that's obviously buoyed the stock market over the last few years, and obviously as well the technology wave that means essentially when Chamath announces a SPAC, the shares immediately rise. Tesla, worth 800 billion or however much. One day, it's inevitable that some of the buoyancy in markets will fade, and clearly at that point, yes, Redditors who've done so well will also be sitting on some losses. Now, all of these people would say, long haul, we don't want people trading, on very short time horizons. If you buy and hold for long, you will be successful. But my feeling is that these three are definitely riding optimum conditions at the moment, and things might not always be as straightforward.
Well, the narrative throughout this saga has been that this was going after short sellers, large hedge funds that bet against companies from actually doing well. And just earlier this morning, Chris, we learned that Citron Research says after 20 years of offering short selling analysis, it will no longer do that. What does that symbolize to you?
Well, it symbolizes to me that you've got some very important people on Wall Street who are running scared right now. I have mixed feelings about this. So I don't want to comment specifically on Citron research, but I will say this, that short sellers also, I think, play an important role often in uncovering fraud, for example. Now, I'm not saying that's in any way relevant to the GameStop situation, but I do think it would be sad if in the long term, short sellers were no longer willing to do that hard work. Because often when a stock is heavily shorted, it does indicate that something is wrong there. And in the case of Wirecard, for example, which obviously turned out to be a huge criminal enterprise, that the short sellers there performed a very important task. And I ask myself now, if this had happened and Wirecard had still been a functioning enterprise, whether those short sellers would have had the same amount of confidence to signal there what they were doing. So in a sense, I do have mixed feelings about what this could mean for short selling in future.
Bloomberg Opinions, Chris Bryant. Chris, thanks as always for your time.